Oh, actually, hold on real quick, guys, before we start this one. Yeah, no big deal. I know they don't give out awards for this, but it's kind of a milestone for me. So listen, by this point, we've all seen the memes. We've all called it a drivable dumpster or seen carrots get cut by the front trunk. In this video, I really just want to zoom out and look at Tesla as a car brand and see just how much of an outlier the Cybertruck really is, and try to explain why I think it's the last new Tesla we'll ever see. I want to be clear, this video is not coming from a Tesla hater. I was actually a big fan of Tesla, and like a lot of people my age, I was excited to see where this brand would go. It's not often a company is compared to Apple, and even less often that the CEO makes cameos in movies. That being said, I'm definitely taking one out of Nicole Raffy's book here. You don't get to be an egotistical billionaire and a bigot and receive flattering imagery on my channel. So from here on out, you will see him looking like a rat. You will see him looking like the little wannabe Texas ranch hand that he fantasizes about being. Now, the Model S came out in 2012 when phones looked like this. And while it may not be their first official model, it was the first model that most of us would actually see on the road, and the first model to make Tesla a household name. It wasn't celebrities ordering their drop-top convertible roadsters that put Tesla on the map. It was viral videos that got Teslas to sell like hotcakes. Contrasting the Model S against competitors in its own class and some supercars, these reviews were better at demonstrating some of the advantages of electric vehicles to average consumers. Short of taking one of these new Teslas on a test drive, these videos let average people live vicariously through the reviewers and owners in the videos. Tesla became a household name, a cutting-edge, high-tech firm out of the Midwest, awaiting imminent patent approval. The Model S demonstrated that Tesla was a forward-thinking company, producing both efficient and attractive vehicles and rewarding eco-consciousness with a driving experience that rivaled many sports cars, and gave you the ability to charge it up at home. Now, while the interior may have had the tech to wow journalists and some novice car buyers, many legacy car buyers found the interior to be dull and lacking compared to the gas cars they were coming from. Seeing the Model S interior next to another car that cost just as much as it from the time, it's easy to see why. The subpar interior quality was really just exacerbated every year. As other brands continued to improve their interior, Tesla just played catch up, dealing with panel fitment and water ingress issues on some early Model S's. What's the plural for that? Model C? They also demonstrated and popularized the skateboard style with the battery module snug between the tires, low to the ground for handling and stability. You'll actually see this design duplicated across the industry with Rivian and Ford using near identical design. The Model X came out next, and it was pretty much identical to the Model S with both the interior and the drivetrain components. This model was plagued with some more early issues with the Falcon Wing doors, which were another unnecessary innovation pushed through during development by CEO Elon Musk. The doors at the time would either not open or get stuck in awkward positions during opening, but I guess they look cool when they do work. Then came the Model 3 and eventually Model Y. They followed suit in the same way. Model 3 is just a small sedan, and the Model Y is practically identical, but just a little bit bigger. Now, all of these are some of the most similar looking cars out right now. Like right up there with how all Mercedes look the same right now. They also stopped putting models and letters and signifiers on the cars themselves, so it could be quite literally impossible to know what Tesla you're looking at on the outside without knowing some unique specific spotter tips. Now, in some of the newer models, they added these little rear screens for passengers, which I thought were kind of cool until I saw this video of a couple kids leaning forward to play video games on the touchscreen. And you can do this while you're driving. They also removed things like the turn signal and wiper stalks and the instrument cluster. So every piece of information and most vehicle controls are all done through this center screen. This really frustrated reviewers and potential buyers. While they tout gimmicks like watching Netflix or playing video games on the center screen, actual day-to-day vehicle controls, like adjusting the temperature and even where the air comes out to seeing the speed that you're driving, all require you to look away from the road and focus on a fucking screen. Just because the screen is 15 inches and mounted on the dashboard does not mean it's easier to operate than a smartphone. In studies done abroad, it's been found that Teslas actually have one of the most difficult interiors to learn learn how to use, especially for new drivers. And we're not saying new drivers like young kids, we're saying new to Tesla. It takes longer to figure out how to get in and get going in a Tesla than in any other car by any other manufacturer. It's worth mentioning how the mission statement changed over time. Their own website states this, and you can see them embody this with the design of each of their new models until the Cybertruck. During the come-up years, Elon repeatedly echoed this dream lineup of models, the S, E, and X. Because he's always been a 6-year-old in a billionaire's body, I guess we were just distracted by this nonsense, like this obsession with the Tesla model spelling sex, that we didn't realize he would go on to regularly demonstrate just how absolutely unbearable he is. All right. Oh, please don't go out. Elon! With each additional model, Tesla showcased their aerodynamic prowess, with cars that literally cut through the air better than other gas cars, and ever-increasing range estimates that seem to be getting better year over year. Consumers could finally see the tipping point. This was it. Electric cars were finally going to take the mainstream. It seemed Tesla could do no wrong. With their record-breaking stock price and never-before-seen levels of market saturation, Tesla sought to dive into the biggest slice of the American car market: pickup trucks. For some reason, Americans buy more pickup trucks than any other country on this silly little planet. Those buyers are also by far the hardest to sway from their preferred model or brand. Unlike traditional car manufacturers, trucks have unique criteria that other cars may forego for efficiency or safety or even just comfort. That criteria, like having the power to tow, long range for hauling, and to be reliable transporters until they practically rust out. For Tesla to sway these buyers, they'd have to come out with something dramatically better than any gas-powered truck.
Welcome to the Cybertruck unveil. Oh my fucking god. Well, sure.
Oh, man.
Of course it will come with autopilot, standard. Yeah. So there'll be 3 versions. But it's gonna...
These were the days. Everything felt like a meme, right? And it felt like a genuine shock to everyone when that little steel ball broke the window. Then they go on to introduce stuff like the Cyber Quad, and they show it just rolling right into the back of the Cybertruck with a built-in ramp, something we'd never see on the actual production truck. It was also when they unveiled various camping features like the infamous bait and switch tent.
Please tell me why the Tesla base camp comes with a bicycle pump. It's a hand pump. Right here is where you blow up the tent. You want to know what is 20 inches away? An outlet to plug in your electric inflator so you don't have to sit there and pump it like an idiot.
They touted the truck's off-road and on-road performance and took some attendees on a little test drive. Unlike the unveiling events for other Tesla models, the Cybertruck event didn't touch on efficiency or aerodynamics for obvious reasons, and we can see that in the final result they were woefully overpromising. Range estimates on stage of 500 plus miles when the real-world truck is just not able to get that. Owners on Reddit have reported that after just 10,000 miles, they're getting an estimated range of about 160 miles on an 80% charge. That's like the estimates on 10-year-old, 100,000 mile Model S's. Model C? If you wanted to get that kind of range, you could have saved like 80 grand and actually gotten autopilot. Guys, listen, I know this sounds pessimistic, but I was a big Tesla fan, okay? I test drove a Tesla Model S in 2014, really in the heyday of it all. It had an early version of autopilot, all the seats were heated, and the instrument cluster showed a little environmental gauge based on your driving. I was flushed. But in the last few years, especially after the introduction of weird stuff like the iPad screen and the square squircle steering wheel and the removal of stalks, like they're just less interesting and less appealing to buyers like me now. The staples of the brand that were introduced to me then, like free supercharging, are not even available anymore. Then comes the Cybertruck, and it's like the furthest thing that I would have expected from Tesla of all brands. Given how much different it is from the rest of the model lineup, I think it's time for me to make my controversial statement. I think it's the last new Tesla we're gonna see, or at least the last model Elon will have a say in the development of, which honestly can only be a good thing. This is the guy who has consistently overpromised and underdelivered on all of the expectations he set for himself. He said we'd have full self-driving by 2017. Kind of missed that. They took reservations for a new Tesla Roadster that they unveiled 6 years ago. Still haven't released that. He wanted to build a colony on Mars by 2021. Do you see a pattern here? I think we'll see Tesla dial back the innovations and then their manufacturing, especially on low production models like the Cybertruck. Maybe they'll start licensing out their software to other car manufacturers, since they are a pretty good software company. And I also see them continuing to build out their charging station network to be a bigger player in that space, even if it's for other cars. I feel like we all thought Tesla was the Apple of the car world, when in reality it's turning out to be more like BlackBerry. Slow to adapt and innovate to competition in the market, and ultimately run into the ground by the egos or ego in charge. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think of Tesla as a brand and what your opinion is of the Cybertruck. Also check out our skelection for some cool shirts like this. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time.